6 o'clock on November 15th at the Village Hall. Okay. I'd like somebody to make a motion to amend the agenda so that the executive session is after the regular meeting. Because it might be a long one and then people don't want to have our public comments. Will somebody make that motion?
So where do you want to move it, Joe?
At the
After public comment?
Between 12 and 13.
Okay. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay. We have the minutes of Monday, November 1st. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes as presented?
Yes, possibly.
Okay.
We received a note from Bill that had an wording that Mike Field had asked to be put in the parks section. And I'm just wondering, I don't think that has happened. And the correction that he wanted is, it's in the parks section, which is on page 2,
Parks
bullet 3, number 9.
Yeah.
And it reads, currently, he also stated that the estimates in cost presented at the last meeting were not actual cost estimates. And what Mike suggested the wording be changed to is, he also clarified that the cost estimates for trail work included in the URSA grant assume outside contractor costs, not town equipment personnel cost levels. So I have that here.
Okay, so that you want to change that?
Yes,
Okay.
I think we should, according to.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he did mention that that excluded the town.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great.
Well, did you have that changed?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other additions or corrections to the minutes of November 1st? If not, a motion to accept.
So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Remember now, we're still okay. We have four people, so it's not 3. Highway report. I don't think Danny's coming. John, can you report on FEMA? Because you like to attend to
Let's see. November 9th, we met with Caroline Sullivan, who is the program delivery manager for FEMA, and went over what we had to be doing in order to get the projects started. She is coming this Thursday for the whole day and work with us on that, and we'll go from there.
Okay. The 121 Pagan is done.
Sorry for the bad spot.
Except, well, is there a bad spot? Okay, so has Danny been contacted, you know?
Last I heard, he contacted him, but I don't know what has happened.
Okay.
John, I'm not quite clear on what you mean by the bad spot.
If you come off the bridge, it's on the left-hand side, there's one spot that's not good
On the side or on the actual page?
on the actual paving, actual road.
Okay. Right.
And they're gonna do something with it, but I don't know when.
They meaning basin?
I don't want to get into it, I really don't know that much about it, because it hasn't been really explained to me that much.
Okay. The other thing we had to talk about on is Townsend is the paving. And the question is, how do you want to proceed? Do we accept the bid and pay it, or do we accept the actual bill on the Townsend Road?
I don't think it has to, they can have to pay the actual.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, so if that's the case, and everybody agrees with that, somebody want to make a motion?
Wait, let me make sure that we're saying the same thing. It's gonna pay the invoice as it stands.
26.
Which is $26,230.
And I figured that up, and that is the tonnage that they would have used, it was, you know, and he made a mistake and figured it up in the very beginning. But that is the tonnage that would have been used.
Right. But we have an option, we can either fight it or not pay it, or pay half, or whatever, so. So we have a motion on the floor, no?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Any other discussion on the Townsend, weekday paving? If not, all in favor of paying the actual bill of $26,230.24, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Does anyone know about the guardrails
Yes, they canceled out.
this year?
No, just for that day, and I think they've rescheduled for 11/29. You hear that, Dave?
I haven't, I haven't seen it.
I think they're gonna come 11/29.
Okay.
My goodness.
Well, the good thing about it, they can do that when it's cold. You
Yeah.
can't pay when it's cold. You can do that. Anything else? We don't have Danny here, but is there any other concerns about highway?
I did ask last meeting about painting the lines in Houghtonville. Those had not been done when Danny said they were done.
No, they weren't done. But I don't know what we can do about it. We don't have any control on what they paint or what they don't paint. They were supposed to paint any road that was new. I don't know if they'll paint any more with this weather. But I guess we'll have to live with this winter.
And Joe, I also wanted to bring up a conversation Danny and I had about feedback we received from members of the public about the pavement on Route 121 and how slick it can be. Of course, we know that it's subject to black ice and people are familiar with that. Having said that though, there's also some concern that it's slick even under normal conditions. And so Danny said that it's his thought that the reason it's slick is because it's so new, and that there's this material in there called fines, which John could explain better than I. But anyway, it has a very smooth surface. But Danny is quite sure that once it's plowed a few times and the traffic goes over it, it will become coarser and less slick. So I just wanted to give that as feedback to some of the concerns that have been raised.
Okay. I'm not sure what we can do about it, but.
We just have to wait until it wears down a little bit.
I think you're dealing with black ice going over everything else.
Yeah, I think so.
Everything we're not taking that into consideration, because that, from the Fisher Bridge down, for this time of year, black ice is.
Yeah, it's the sun that's shining.
Do you think we should put a sign up or anything like that?
How can you do that? You don't know what I mean. Generally, you just have to be prepared for.
Vermont highways.
Yeah, you do. I mean, how do you know? I mean, black ice occurs everywhere.
People that lived here a few years know this. It's probably the new people that haven't lived here.
Well, see, out-of-staters too, that come in.
I mean, there are signs that you see around on highways, bridge freezes first. Now, we don't have those, but I haven't seen them in any town anywhere. Kim, you have anything you want to talk about?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Hope everybody paid their taxes.
Yeah, we had a lot. I do want to mention, I'm not sure if everybody's aware that VTEL did reimburse us for the damage on the culvert
Okay, good.
over Wheeler House on School Street.
What is that?
VTEL paid us back, reimbursed us for the damage on the culvert.
Oh,
We were charged by M&M's $800 to fix the culvert that they drove through, that VTEL actually had drove through. And they did pay that bill.
that's great.
I think the link for taxes was down to 7,000, and then she had one more check that was,
We're right around 5, we
Yeah.
believe. We're anticipating another one, so.
Are you going to charge interest tomorrow?
Got one to put through, because I couldn't put it through at 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna put it through in the morning, and then we'll do some interest. Have some unhappy people, but
Suzanne,
And eventually, next meeting, I will be bringing up the delinquent, tax policy, because our delinquent tax policy is, only charging interest at the end of the month, just like we were doing with our current taxes. And it's best if we can keep them coincide together, so on the 15th, when I post interest, the delinquent should post at the same time. Whereas we were both doing the 30th, we should actually be doing it on the 16th. So there is just one little sentence we'll have to change and amend in the policy, but I wasn't prepared to be able to get it to you guys beforehand, so we're gonna do that
can
next.
you tell Bill, so we all know that we're going to the next agenda item?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Suzanne, I think you're,
Yep.
you're up for the Act
Yes,
250.
thank you very much. I would like to acknowledge, especially the people on Zoom, that Scott Hitchcock is here with us tonight, and welcome, Scott. The Act 250 Amendment Application Pre-Hearing Conference took place on November 8th at the site of the Hitchcock Firewood LLC on Cambridge Port. And the purpose of the pre-hearing conference was to begin considering an application for an Act 250 amendment to an existing permitted commercial industrial property for an outdoor firewood processing business. There were 11 people in attendance, including Aaron Brondike, who is the state coordinator of the Natural Resources Board, 2 of the district environmental commissioners, including the chair, Heather and Scott Hitchcock were the business owners, John McKay, who was the building owner, 3 property owners who registered as parties to the proceedings, and I represented the town of Grafton as a member of the select board. For this meeting's minutes, I am providing to Wendy a list of the people who actually participated in the meeting. The pre-hearing consisted of Q&A by the participants, a demonstration of the log cutting and loading equipment to monitor its noise level, on-site visits to the property owner's home to monitor the noise level at that location, and pre-hearing participants were sworn in for this portion of the pre-hearing. So to that, I'll report on that aspect of the pre-hearing during executive session pursuant to Vermont Title I, Section 313(1)E, matters pertaining to possible or pending civil litigation. The actual hearing will be held on December 3rd at 9:30 in Town Hall and on MS Teams. At that time, Joe and John will represent the select board at the hearing, and I will attend, but I will not participate. And just one final note. During the Q&A at the beginning of the pre-hearing, there were a number of questions about the status and remediation of the CIC building generally and the Matrix Chem situation in particular. We also met an employee from the Cheap Tubes organization who works in the building. I spoke with Rich Thompson, our town health officer, and we would like to suggest scheduling an update with Rich at a future select board meeting on this topic.
Okay. Would you like to put that for the next one, or is that something?
No, that would be great, John, if it fits in with everything we'll have going on in the beginning of December.
Okay. Thank you, Suzanne. The cemetery committee, I took a ride last week to all the cemeteries, and all the cemeteries are in good shape, except they've been mowed, but the leaves have not been taken care of. So John and I talked to Bill, and we asked a number of people to present a bid to go ahead and blow the leaves before the snow comes. And I think we've received a bid.
Well, I believe this bid is for the actual cemeteries.
No, we don't want to do that tonight.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on here. It's open bids for cemetery maintenance. It's the
Oh,
next
okay.
item. But she also stated that she did have a price for fall cleanup if you were to ask her to do fall cleanup.
But shouldn't give you a price. Is that the price?
Yeah. It wasn't asked to be a bid, so she just gave the price.
Just an estimate. I asked him for an estimate. for cleanup,
And so it's $5,000 to clean up all the cemeteries, I guess, not including Styles?
no, it's not Styles.
That's just the leaves?
Yeah.
All the cemeteries.
All the cemeteries, yeah. So I don't know how you want to proceed with this. This is the only one we have. We only have a very short time before snow comes, and the cemeteries are full of leaves. There's no question about it.
What is your recommendation as the cemetery committee?
Well, my recommendation is that we had it cleaned up. This $5,000 was nobody knew about it until right now. So it's hard to make a recommendation. I mean, he's only one person. And this is an estimate, or is this an actual,
Just an estimate.
it could be higher, it could be lower?
She said that Ivor just said that that's what it would cost to do the leaves.
So I'm not sure how the board wants to proceed.
The $5,000 would be the maximum amount. It would not go over that.
Okay.
I don't have my budget book here. I'm sure we're probably under on our budget for this year. Does somebody have theirs with them?
Let me see, Tim, I have it here. You know what page it's on?
Probably page 3, down 3/4 of the way maybe. It's before hire, but. No, there's no.
On page 2.
Cemetery,
Okay.
so we budgeted.
13,300.
I don't have what we're at now. Last year we spent 1306 was our actual. No, that's county tax, I'm sorry, we're up here. So we had 20,000 last year, we only spent 13,368. And we can't even be close to that. We did have Don Morris, and that's why we were so low last year.
Okay, but if you add 5,000, you're still under the budget.
But that's good, that budget has to go until next June, next July.
That we're in now, this 20,000, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So everything's gonna hinge on what you're gonna do when it comes time for the rest of the cemeteries. What are we gonna do?
If you do it for 5, you only got 2,000 left
Yeah,
in the rest of cemeteries.
and then you got the spring cleanup, and then mowing starts in May and June. I don't know.
It's either leave the leaves till spring or
Will it be worse in the spring or just kind of be a wash?
whatever trees are not shed their leaves, you'll have.
You can clean it up in the spring, it'll be harder, of course it'll be wet, and it'll be packed down, but it's doable.
It's not like there's any plants that's really gonna hurt that are there. I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna hurt anything, it just doesn't look good.
But it's gonna be covered with snow. Will it hurt anything?
No, but it just don't look good.
Yeah, it's
It's
gonna be covered
cosmetic
with
more than
snow.
anything else, I mean.
And in about a week, no one's gonna know the difference.
And then
When people want a plot, do we give them perpetual care? I don't know what the rules are. When you purchase it, what are your expectations other than being buried?
Just mowed.
Yeah, somewhat, I don't know if you can call it perpetual care, but yes, we ought to maintain the cemeteries, the stones and, you know, mowing leaves and whatever, yeah.
if you wait till spring, you can do 2 cleanups in one.
Exactly.
I'd like to see it done now, because let's honor the people that are passed on, make it look nice. That's my thought.
But then,
Unless
will
we're
it
in
just be
spring.
included though in the spring cleanup? Bid?
Maybe we should open the bid and get an idea of what it's gonna cost us.
Who's clerk? My favorite.
She's not here. Sue Allen is the.
So who wants to open it?
This might give us an idea of what,
They can just be included with the spring cleanup.
Come spring, it's still in the same budget.
Exactly. There's no more burials happening right now,
burials ended?
ended November 1st.
Okay.
What have we typically done? Have we typically done a fall cleanup?
Oh, yeah, but we have the employees to do it, Walter and the two.
You know, they do it as they could, you know, a couple days a week or whatever.
Okay, annual lawn maintenance for the cemeteries and villages, Middletown, Cable, Cabell, Fall Ranch, Stiles, Burgess. Cost includes mowing, trimming, spring and fall cleanup. Monthly grounds maintenance work, 6 months, May to October. Cost $4,000, total $24,000.
So it's 24,000 a year?
6 months, it said.
Well, I mean, but that's the year, I mean, it's.
It's saying October to, May to October.
But our budget is different than that.
Well, we budgeted 20,000 last year.
20 for the labor, but then if you look at the whole entire packet,
Oh,
we
yeah,
won't be
benefits,
doing Medi, FICA.
it's 23,000.
But our budget goes from July 1st till June 30th.
Right.
So, and that is what, is from when?
May to October.
Well, typically that's our budget, yeah, you're right, from July to.
Yeah, but,
You're going spring to fall.
yeah,
I'm tending to think we should go ahead with it. That's something that we've typically done, and in honor of keeping the cemeteries,
well, they have to be maintained.
right,
The
maintained.
question is whether we have an outside or we hire employees to go ahead and do it again.
Who are you gonna
But
get?
I think,
Well, you've got a couple of kids right now.
Yeah, they're not working on that, so.
So is that a decision you guys are gonna discuss once you found out what a bid would be? And weigh out the benefits versus the cost? So is that a decision you're making tonight?
If you let it out, it eliminates the benefits.
That's right.
mhm,
The liability.
mhm.
And the liabilities, and workers' comp and all the rest of the stuff that goes along with it.
And equipment, which we don't.
And equipment.
We have very little.
Remember, we have very little equipment, so we have to put some money into equipment again. Because Walter used his own equipment,
Right.
a lot of it. And I don't know, I mean, you know some of the equipment that you picked up, it's not in very good shape. So that means you have to go out and spend, you know,
Well, the push mowers are good.
yeah, but then weed whackers, I don't know, if there's a weed whackers any good, the ones you picked up? They-
One of them.
All right, so you gotta spend another $400 there, and then you gotta buy another push mower, and
Can you have a leaf blower too?
No.
Sounds like if we're considering outsourcing the general maintenance for next year, that it would make sense for us to go ahead and do the fall cleanup this year with another firm, with a contractor. I mean, that sounds like it'd provide continuity of the cemetery maintenance from the fall cleanup to the new contract.
I don't know, I just go with the contractor, and let him clean this up in the spring. And then next year he does the fall.
But that contract starts in October, right?
Right.
Is that 2021?
My question is it going through October or to October?
Through October, I think,
Well, it says fall cleanup, doesn't it?
6 months.
yeah. So it starts on May 1st and it ends on
Monthly maintenance.
10/31.
Does it say spring and fall cleanup?
For 2022.
No, it says monthly grounds maintenance work. And I think what Amber is quoting, the 5,000 is for the fall cleanup. That's extra.
Oh,
So next October, we have to pay another 5,000 on top of the 24 is what they're saying.
In the
Amber,
document that we have presented, it includes spring and fall cleanup for 2022.
Okay, so the bid doesn't,
$5,000 would cost for the fall cleanup for 2021. And it goes until October 31st, because normally we have snow by then. So it would continue, it would take care of the fall cleanup for 2022.
I need to write that down. So,
So it's 4,000 each cemetery is what the bid is.
a month.
No, the total, yeah, no, for the season. There's 6 cemeteries at 4,000 each, and it comes to 24,000.
Yeah, it was Styles, you only go up to Styles once or twice a year.
I only go once, I think.
And that's what they used to do, once, yeah.
But that's per month.
No, that's the total. It's 4,000 for the season for cemetery.
You know,
So how you do that?
it's worth it.
A lot of work.
It's not like you're cutting a big field or a lawn,
But it's,
straight cuts.
it's tedious.
It's very tedious, a lot of people, that's why I only got one bid.
so let me make sure I'm understanding the process. We put out an RFP, we got one response,
That is correct.
and that's it, this is it.
That's it.
A lot of landscapers don't like doing cemeteries, it's because it's tedious.
I think there is something to be said now that Walter has passed, that you might consider a different approach to maintaining the cemeteries rather than having employees. I don't know, it provides good jobs for some people. I'm really brainstorming here.
But we don't have anybody to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
He hasn't been able to find help.
Yes.
Don wasn't able to find help, because he wanted somebody to help Walter and him. This has been ongoing for 4 or 5 years.
Well, then it sounds like it's time for us to move on and get a contractor, pay the $5,000 fall cleanup, and hire someone to do it from now on.
Just keep in mind that we as a cemetery, we are the cemetery agents. We are responsible for the cemeteries.
Well, that's why I'm asking you for your recommendation, Joe. It seems like this
My
caught you.
recommendation that I would go with the $24,000 and have them take care of the cemeteries and not have employees, or equipment and everything else, and they just do it from October 1st to November, to October, May 1st to
To
October
October
30th.
3rd. I think we're saying the same
Yeah.
thing.
And I think you're saving money.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So in that context, would you also go for the 5,000 fall cleanup?
I don't know, I would certainly go with this, I'm not sure.
If you don't go with it, then it's a lot more work for whoever's taking it over from the spring.
I don't know if you've ever tried to dig up leaves that are sat there all very long.
I think we all can postpone our fall cleanups till spring, and we don't do it for the obvious reasons that they,
Well, that's what happened last year for a lot of maintenance landscapers. We had early snow and they couldn't do cleanups.
Ivor said he could fit it in, he thought this week.
Yeah, I think we should do the whole package. I mean, if they're all cemeteries and,
Make a motion, so
yeah.
I move that we engage Ivor Stevens Grounds Maintenance to do the fall cleanup for $5,000 and for the contract between May and October 31, 2022.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Amber? Are you there?
Yes,
Okay, so the board has approved the fall cleanup of $5,000 and has approved the contract that you presented for $24,000 starting May 1 and ending October 31st.
thank
Okay?
you. Yep.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question though on the cemetery is, what about cleaning up the items that people have left? Are the boys still gonna do that? You know, little trinkets and knickknacks that are not supposed to
We
be there.
could ask you to do that.
You want them, Amber and I were to do that?
I'd have it.
Yeah, I'd have them do the whole thing over
I'd
that.
do it all.
And did we get a certificate of insurance? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't say
Yeah, it's here.
It's there.
The other thing though that we need to deal with, not tonight, but we need to have somebody who's going to be the person who's gonna do the, schedule of the burials and all that kind of stuff.
And yeah, that'll be coming
Cool,
up.
Saxton, is that what it is?
They call it a sexton.
Saxton,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know I just sold a lot today and another one to sell here soon. So I'm kind of selling them at my window right now. I'm just showing the maps.
But there was somebody was interested in it, is that still viable to do it? No. So can we maybe run a little story or put in the Grafton News and see if anybody wants to take that job over?
But you need to decide, now you need to build something in the budget, I would imagine, for a cemetery sexton for a stipend.
Yeah? We have
Because
to do
that's
that.
not in our budget.
Wendy, is that possible that we could do an article or something in
As
there?
long as it's, yeah, as long as you have the information, yeah.
All right. And the deadline is what? It's November?
26?
27, 28, something like that.
May we consider now that we've mentioned this opportunity in a public meeting that anyone who's heard about it can come forth and say they might
Absolutely.
be interested?
Go see Bill or Ken, either one.
And I certainly will be there to help whomever plans on doing that.
And I understand that Don is ill, but the records, did we ever get all the records, or do we have sufficient records that we know of, Kim?
I think we've got sufficient records. I know that he had some stuff still there in a little black book, Walter said. They were more or less his notes, but they're pretty good notes and something that would help us way back, but not really sure what else he had. But he did give me the map, so at least I got that to work with.
Okay. All right. Highway committee, anything, have anything? No. Parks, spoke to, Mike, he has nothing new.
Joe, do you have any idea when the logging's gonna start?
No, I haven't. Alan, we sent an email to Alan asking him, and he sent an email back saying that he wasn't involved anymore, and so I sent an email to him and said, have the forester, what's his name?
What is his name?
Tim to contact Bill, himself, whatever, and as far as I know, they were doing some preliminary looking at it, I
I was
think.
gonna say, I thought we got an email from Tim Morton
Right.
a couple weeks ago.
Right, but they haven't given us an actual date yet, but, I'll make sure that,
With an excavator up there working.
oh, there is? Oh, okay. So maybe they are preparing. Anything on personnel? Okay. Buildings, the only thing we know is the heat pumps are still on back order.
Along with my 93 more.
And the architects are working, so that's there. And the wastewater is, we finally got the contract from Time Bond, and tomorrow, I believe it's at 1 o'clock, Bill and I, and Sue Allen, if she can, make it, we have a Zoom meeting at 1 o'clock, I think, that we're going to attend, and it's not particularly for the town of Grafton, but they asked us to attend, so we will be doing that.
And what's gonna happen at that?
I don't know, it's a 1 hour Zoom meeting, I have no idea.
With time?
No, it's with, it's from state,
Oh,
and the woman, what's her name?
Lynn,
Lynn.
right.
Yeah,
Lynette.
Lynn, whatever, she asked us to, she told us to send a memo, so we're gonna be watching it, so.
That's a pretty open invitation.
Planning commission, I guess nobody showed up. So I don't know what to do about it. And I know it's not our direct responsibility, but they're on their own entity, but I don't know where the planning commission stands. They don't have a chair, and they're missing a person, and so the only thing we can do, I guess, is to try to get them to come to another meeting, unless somebody has a suggestion.
Who was asked to come?
I don't know, Bill's note to me was, here it is, Bill said, I have asked the planning commission to be present, and you need to urge them to reactivate, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know who he talked to, but he went to talk to somebody,
Nobody's on.
you know? Well, I guess we'll just have to keep putting it on, and maybe we'll have to send him a letter or something, I don't know. If anybody has any great ideas, we know. Any other business?
So I just wanted to mention that Christmas in Grafton is scheduled on December 11th, and it's going to be a fabulous event all over town, many organizations involved, and just want to start putting that in front of people to plan for that day.
I'm sure they'll have something in the Grafton News, right?
They will, and actually I mentioned to Kevin that he should try to get on the select board agenda on December 6th.
Right.
So that, as per usual, the select board is briefed
Right.
on what the impact to the streets will be and what the events will be, et cetera. So I hope that Kevin is here on December 6th.
Kevin,
Wolf.
okay.
What's his position?
He's the chair of the Visit Grafton, Vermont organization, which is the new version of I don't even remember what they called it before, the Chamber of Commerce type organization.
Yeah, it was,
GPA, Promotional Association.
Business Association, something, wasn't it?
What was it when we,
Promotional Association.
Grafton Promotional Association? It's the new version of that, and it's kind of the coordinator of the event.
And I'll make sure that we get a hold of Kevin and make sure he gets up.
Oh, that would be great, Joe, yeah.
All right. Any other business? Any public comment? Okay,
I have one public comment for Amber. The fire department, Grafton Auxiliary, is going to be selling Christmas trees the first weekend in December at the fire station, and in hopes that we'll have trees left over for the Christmas in Grafton, and we'll be selling them at the Phillips Barn. But I just wanted to let you know that we will be selling Christmas trees the first weekend in December at the fire station. And trees are very limited this year, so it's hard to get Christmas trees.
yeah, if anybody wants to know, I belong to the Vermont, Hampshire Christmas Tree Association, and they expect that they'll probably only be able to fill about 50% of the people who want to get cutting trees. So if you want to get your tree, go early.
Yeah, I was only able to get 50% of what I asked for, so I had to do some more research.
And that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to cut almost by 50%. And so
What's the reason behind that?
it's just too much demand. Too much demand for Christmas trees, the COVID and whatever, and then people have gone away from the artificial trees. And what's happened over the years, there was a sliding. The demand was getting less and less for fresh cut trees, so the growers didn't plant enough. So now what's happening is, as you know, it takes minimum of 6 years to get a 5-foot tree. So the growers will start to ramp up, but it's going to take some time. So there isn't the supply there, and the demand is increased by tremendous amount. So that's what they tell me at the meetings that I go to. So. Any other public comment? If not, we need a motion to go into executive session for personnel and potential litigation. Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
You just made the last.
No, I didn't speak honest. Oh, yeah, the only reason why I couldn't go was
It's Thursday.
yeah. Well, it's oh, that's the hearing. Being here is what?
Thursday.
Oh,
Yeah.